Hello and welcome to Flippin' Through, the internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. And today we're flipping through Mad Magazine number 62, released April 1961. Our price 25 cents, which is indeed cheap. But before we do that, please let me remind you, hit like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment down below. That's the #1 way that you can support this YouTube channel. And it means a lot to me. It's awesome. I can't keep this channel growing without your support, and I sure do appreciate each and every one of you who takes the time to do that. If you want to support me in another way, patreon.com/flippinthrough. If you follow that link, you could get a 6 set of stickers, pretty awesome set of buttons, and maybe even a stencil. Great for defacing both public and private property. Down below, you will also see a link. You can become a channel member, and with that, you get early access to videos from this channel and exclusive emojis. These are the people who support me today: Ben Foskeren, Joey Gesso, Reflection of Perfection, Tom Richmond, David Strickler, Megan Macri, Bible Weigel, Cam Hayden, Rob Wilson, Rod Mead-Sperry, Andrew Goldfarb, Casey Ori, and Little Cozy Nostril, and as well as Me Too Big, the first channel member. Thank you guys so much for your support. I hope I can keep on earning it. With that, let's get into this. Mad Magazine number 62. I spent, okay, first off, Kelly Freas cover. It's beautiful. Love the Kelly Freas covers. I love Alfred E. Neuman pointing the wrong direction, that weather vane. What would you expect from an Alfred E. Neuman weather vane? Love his outfit, though. Wonder if I could get an outfit like that. Special March Winds issue by the Blowhards at Mad. Here we have an inside cover, I think, again, painted by Kelly Freas. General Realistic. We're just going to keep on chugging along. I feel like I wasted a lot of time because I spent like 20 minutes flipping through an issue thinking, boy, all this seems really familiar. Getting to the end and realizing I did a video on it last year. So I got to improve my system, clearly. Here's our letters and tomatoes department. This is kind of fun. One of these is printed upside down. Coming on sale the morning after the presidential election with the cover of Mad number 60, congratulating Richard Nixon, was a pure stroke of idiocy. It made you guys look pretty stupid. Bill Stemmons, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Well, we are pretty stupid, Ed. And of course, on the other side, coming on sale the morning after the presidential election with the cover of Mad number 60, congratulating John Kennedy, was a pure stroke of genius. It made you guys look pretty smart. Bill Stemmons, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Well, we are pretty smart, Ed. Here's one. I always say I don't want to see pictures of your children. I will see pictures your cats. I thought you might be interested in the attached photo taken by my son Jonathan, 13. Jonathan is an avid reader of Mad. He says that the leopard looked up from the copy of Mad and growled, "What's so funny about this?" It must be a stuffed leopard? I don't know. The leopard actually looks vaguely like Alfred E. Neuman. And then here we have this, Mad dog training. I have a problem. My father is training our dog to carry in the newspaper. This is okay with me, except that he keeps using my Mad magazines as substitutes for the newspaper. Naturally, my dog tears the magazine to shreds. To shreds, you say? What can I do? John Sorensen, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Anyway, that's the only reason I read that. Start training your dog to carry in Mad by using your father's newspapers as substitutes for the magazines. Gotta read. Whenever I catch a Minneapolis one, I have to read it. Look at this is another. I missed this one actually. This one switches every single line upside down, right side up. You guys may think you're funny by putting the marginal thinking department upside down from time to time throughout the magazine, but this method of humor, misspelled humor, doesn't help our eyesight or our nerves. And so here's a taste of your own medicine, Clods. Gil Linder, Milford, Connecticut. Here we have the total sell. Who is this? Artist Bob Clark. The total sell, consumer-wise. First, they sell the soap. Drab for people who can't bathe after every meal. Look drab, feel drab, be drab. After they sell the soap and the suds, they sell the secret ingredients. The better the makins, the better the soap. Now, drab contains ATGL 770 Mach 4 and X55 squared. After they sell the soap, they sell the suds. Slanted laboratory reports now prove conclusively drab contains more suds per square inch than any other brand. And after they sell the soap and the suds and the secret ingredients, they sell the smell. A rose garden at dawn, a perfume counter at noon, a garbage dump at twilight. All these combined cannot match the heaven-sent odor of a fine cake of drab. Heaven-sent. I love that. That's funny. That's very funny. After they sell the soap, they sell the suds, the secret ingredients, they sell the smell, they sell the shape. The most important quarter-inch in Washington Day. They sell the wrapper. What else do they sell? They sell the success it brings. They sell the color, and they sell the status. And after they sell the soap, the suds, the secret ingredients, the smell, the shape, the color, the wrapper, the status it brings, the success it brings, there's nothing left. So they do the only smart thing copy-wise. They add the words new, improved, and start the whole mess over again. I like that. Here we have the population explosion and how it will affect future living. Population explosion and how it will affect our future living. Movie-going of the future. Who did this? Larry Siegel is a writer. George Woodbridge doing beautiful, beautiful artwork. Pardon me, madam. Would you mind removing your kid? I can't see the screen. Stop pushing. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to get out. I've seen the picture 70 times already. I heard that the census, they've been estimating incorrectly this whole time, and there might be fewer people in the United States than they originally thought. So that's kind of interesting. Lovemaking of the future. Darling, I love you. Let me take you away from all that. Over here to all this. Marry me, wherever you are. Who? Her? Her? Her or me? Who, me or her? Is it okay? If it's me, okay. If it's her, okay too. There's Alfred tucked away in there. That's the 96th marriage proposal I heard this week. I'd accept one of them if I weren't a man. Well, that's not nowadays. You know, that's a little. You could accept that marriage proposal if you were a man. Classrooms of the future. Kids in classrooms will be four to a desk. They'll be sitting on top of one another, and nobody will be able to do much breathing, let alone learning. In other words, classrooms of the future won't be much worse than the way they are today. Here we have a guided tour through a steel foundry. This is, of course, I feel, not of course, but I feel like this is one I've seen a ton. Like this has been reprinted a lot. There's another feature in this issue that's been, I know for a fact you've seen before. And now we come to the pounding room. Here we shall see how the hot metal is pounded into shape by huge machines called pounders. And now we shall proceed to the cooling room. I like that. I especially like this lady right here who's so skinny. She's like the skinniest one out of all of them. And it shows in that outcome right there. How to make dull reading matter interesting. Recipe comics. All right, hold on. So you have phone directories, the old dull way. And then you have an interesting new way. And you have their pictures next to it. That's a little off-putting. One of our most popular numbers in our book belongs to the vivacious Cynthia Abercrombie of 21 Fern Drive. Cynthia is a 38, 24, 37 redhead who plays the field. How about recipes? Axolotl pudding. Recipes, the old dull way. You show. And now you have recipe comics. Hi, Mom. What you doing? I'm making axolotl pudding with 1 quart goat's milk, a half cup peeled axolotls, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 4 eggs, 4 teaspoons sugar, and 1 teaspoon salt. Say, isn't that the recipe where you boil the goat's milk for 4 minutes or until skin forms, then add the axolotls, stir until melted, and then remove the stuff from the heat? That's right. Aren't you mother's little helper? Um, I love that. That's fun. And there is actually a nice punchline at the end of that. Movie credits, the old dull way and the new interesting way. Should hit pause on that. I do want to spend some time on this. We have artist Bob Clark and writer Phil Hunt. Recently, we noticed a new trend in greeting cards, and we don't mean that they're getting more and more insulting. That's an old trend. In fact, it's just about impossible to find a card that says something nice these days. No, we mean greeting card manufacturers seem to be trying to see how much junk they can stick, staple, tape, or tie to a card before it collapses on the rack. Naturally, this means that they'll be hard pressed for attachment ideas before long, and soon we'll be seeing these. Ugh. We're going to see who has empathy. If you have empathy, please comment, I yawned, after you saw me yawn. Greeting cards with enclosures. From your balding lover, a lock of my hair I just cannot spare, for I need it on my head. But don't blow your stack, 'cause here is a sack of my dandruff flakes instead. Disgusting. As somebody who suffers with dandruff, nobody wants that. That's horrible. Greetings to an energetic neighbor. Your lovely shrubs, your lush green lawn were such a joy to gaze upon, that they inspired my loving spouse to beautify our grounds and house. So now I spend my leisure time seeding, weeding, spreading lime, raking, aching, black and blue. A friend, it's all because of you. And friend, it's all because of you. That's why I pause mid-puff and pant to send you this little plant. I hope you won't think rash of me. It's poison ivy. Hee hee hee. Greetings to a shut-in. Here's a card that's bound to cheer in summer, spring, or fall. Just use this saw, I'll meet you, dear, outside the prison wall. That's great, too. I love it. I don't know, call me an easy mark, but I just love the greeting card gags. I love Bob Clark, and I love the poems. So this is like the trifecta. Halloween greetings from an old fiend. This Halloween card simply cannot be matched. It's chock full of ghoulish delights. You'll see that a black widow spider's attached. A live one, that is, and she bites. To my spouse on our anniversary. This is to inform you that I am, without remorse, leaving you for good, you rat, and suing for divorce. That's a great little poem. Look at summons action for a divorce. April 15th, greetings to my income tax collector. The gift this card includes free should bring you joy, you crud. That's why you tried to get from me the last drop of my blood. Those bastards. Here we have Mad Visits, the world's greatest TV panelist. Common recurring thing in Mad Magazine, visits the best insurance salesman, visits the, president of the, steelworkers union, all sorts of different things like this, where it's like kind of quasi interview, a little bit of a spoof. Like it reads kind of like the movie parodies and all of that. Here we have early on in Antonio Prohías's tenure at Mad Magazine, he still has this, the introduction. Antonio Prohías is a famous Cuban artist who defied the censorship of Castro regime with anti-communist cartoons until he was forced to flee Havana with his life. Now he graces Mad with his cartoon sequence of friendly rivalry called Spy versus Spy. They're just thinking about, if I was a woman, I could stab and club my enemy in the back. So they go and they get dressed and they show up and, oh shit, they can't find the other one. I like that one. I mean, Spy versus Spy did get more and more violent as time went on. Up-to-date names for rockets and missiles. These are great. The Jack Parr, the Charles Van Doren, the Jimmy Hoffa, huge operational rocket designed to deliver important payloads. The Jaffee derives its name from its steerage unit stage located at its head. Recent investigation tests of this rocket's performance characteristics indicate that the Jaffee steering unit is controllable, often following a twisting orbit which eludes all tracking devices. Attempts to obtain accurate information during these tests have failed, due to the unit's usually full-powered transmitting apparatus suddenly refusing to function during critical stages. If you were alive and know a lot about Jimmy Hoffa, if you're alive during that time and know a lot about Jimmy Hoffa, I bet that's hilarious. The Alfred E. Neuman half-stage rocket with extra-large fins and pointed head, developed by Crackpot Fringe Group, designed in conjunction with release of atrociously decorated paper satellite, which usually travels in ridiculous circles, displaying no intelligent direction or defined orbit, undergoes 8 tests a year. Value of rocket and its satellite remains undetermined, as all tests thus far have resulted in total failures. In most recent launching, the Neuman reached a height of absolute absurdity before returning to Earth and blowing up its own stupid launch pad. And these illustrations are really cool, but the best one is this cloud of smoke. And I just love how it wraps around itself and the shading on that. I just think that looks great. As a child prodigy of 3, Don Martin wrote Fugue for a Violin and Rattle. As a father idiot of 30, he teaches his family togetherness through music. There's a note, there's a note. Just beating his kids' heads. Loosen your ties, stupid. That's better. Ladies' Home Journey. These are, going through like the old Mads, these are probably my like least favorite things, is the fake magazine stuff. I don't know. I mean, like some of these are funny, like the meaning of your husband's fears. When he's confused and lonely, whip him back into line before it's too late. How much insurance does your husband need? Statistics show that women live longer than men. Don't slip up on this vital fact in planning your golden years. Can this husband be salvaged? Love is for Claudes. Oh, look at it. It's like inverted. One of those like pulp love stories. I really just wanted to get over to this, make sure I had time for this. Horseback riding. The last time I was in this time period, we had another Dave Berg thing. And this is just Dave Berg's golden age. Those of you who love lighter side of, I mean, please disagree in the comments. Tell me if you don't agree. But this is, to me, such better illustration and so much more fun. The types of horses, the Arabian, the thoroughbred. That's the pride, and that's the pride of my stables. I call him Black Beauty. Ain't he a gorgeous animal? I guess so, but I wouldn't want my sister to ride him. Is that some racial humor there? Okay. And then the Charlie horse, this variety is developed by almost all beginners who take up the sport. And you have the types of saddles. I mean, maybe this is like, do you need to know about horses to find this funny? The English saddle. I don't care if it's 4 p.m. This is ridiculous. The Western saddle. Yankee Go Home. That's the McClellan saddle. And then the side saddle. Just filled with just beautiful. I mean, like the writing isn't that funny, but would you ever expect that funny of writing from Dave Berg? What's wonderful though is the illustration. Like that is awesome. Like look at this with like these gestures without the horse, like him getting onto the horse and you can see everything. It's it's a shame. It's really a shame. Some of it, though, like you see and you think, well, there's no way this is Dave Berg. Other times, you can see it. You can kind of see the Dave Berg style. Like one of the things is, here, this is probably a better example. Like these, he loved those like frenetic motion lines. That's something he kept doing well into the lighter side of. When people would get mad, to show that shaking. Here's another installment of that friendly rivalry between the man in black and the man in white, both dedicated to the cause of outwitting each other as spy versus spy. Okay, so this babe drops a handkerchief. No, that's a black spy. He runs away. Black spy, she drops a handkerchief. They run away. Like, I could have had a babe, but now I don't. Mail order gift catalogs. Potter's EB House. Again, one of those things that's just, it's cool. These illustrations are wonderful. This is Bob Clark, right? It looks a lot like him, so it probably is. Yes, Art Bob Clark. So you can drink this, and this is something that's like a little bit more difficult because of all of the text-based humor to convey on a flip through. Now, this is the one with Wally Wood doing the artwork, Tomorrow's Parents. Much has been written about the teenager of today, but in every article we've seen, one important fact has been overlooked or ignored, namely that the teenager of today is the parent of tomorrow. Yes, frightening as it may seem, we cannot escape the fact that the rebellious adolescent of the present will someday become the mother symbol and father image for the rebellious adolescent of the future. So with this horrible thought in mind, Mad presents an article which sneaks a peek into the future for a glimpse of what it will be like when today's teenagers become tomorrow's parents. So you have these old, I don't know, are those, they're not hippies, they're like hipsters? What are they? Greasers? I don't even know what to call them. And then their parents are squares, they're yuppies. And that's what they've had to be raised by. And I mean, I guess the funny thing is, though, is that most kids grow up to be normal, right? Like they go through an adolescent phase and then they just sort of become normal members of society. Here are two typical parents of 1975, Fred and Ginger, named after their own parents' idols. Typical, proudly posing behind their two children, 5-year-old Tuesday Sandra, typical, Tuesday Sandra, typical, and 6-year-old Kingston Trio, typical. Anyway, yet despite all these advantages, Fred and Ginger sense that their children are not turning out right. Tuesday and Kingston keep their rooms neat and clean and never leave clothes lying around. They read books, drink milk, watch only educational TV, hate rock and roll, don't go steady, even though both are well past 12, and actually enjoy school. Anyway, so it's their kids are squares, but then they give birth to cool kids. Kingston's remarks are prophetic. In years to come, Fred and Ginger will forgive and accept their children for what they are. However, having failed as doting parents, they will achieve astonishing success as doting grandparents because just as their own children rebelled against them, their grandchildren will rebel against their own parents. It's beautiful. And the artwork, I mean, the fact is, like, we've all seen this like a dozen times, so I would go over the artwork. Hit pause if you need to, but it's beautiful artwork by Wally Wood. It truly is. But we know that, right? In a French restaurant. Oh, look at this fatso. How dare you call this atrocity rôti de porc garni? I demand to see the chef immédiatement. Oui, monsieur, immédiatement. That's crazy. He killed him. And this is, I don't know what the hell this is. Because I got to wrap this up. Subscribe to Mad. I just love that picture. Who is that anyway? Is that Feldstein? And then he brought the Brooklyn Bridge with his sucker pen. It's like right, that old saying. Well, I got a bridge to sell you. If you believe that, well, I got a bridge to sell you. I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you, in fact. Anyway, guys, this has been Mad Magazine number 62. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, hit like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment down below. It really does help. Toodaloo.